Hi everyone, welcome back to GoLocal Live. I'm GoLocal News editor Kate Nagel. Thanks for tuning in this Friday afternoon. We'd like to welcome a familiar face, GoLocal columnist Bob Whitcomb. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you very
coming in.
much.
Appreciate it. Big breaking news as we speak. Governor Gina Raimondo is slated now to donate the donations she received from Jonathan Sackler of Purdue Pharma and his wife to organizations here in the state addressing those impacted by the
12 and a half
opioid
grand.
crisis.
Right, 12 and a half
12 and a half grand.
I don't know why it took so long, since we've known about the Sacklers and their misleading management of Purdue, their misleading marketing. Tens of thousands, actually hundreds of thousands of people have died in the opiate epidemic. And I don't know why it took so long, but I think we should commend the governor. She's giving it to the right people. You want to explain some more about the people she's giving it to?
I kind of want to take a little backtrack as well about GoLocal really being at the forefront of pressing on this issue here, from uncovering the donations. Now, remember back in the campaign, we broached this issue with Lieutenant Governor Dan McKee.
Right.
He immediately said he would be giving it to organizations here in the state.
Fighting drug abuse.
But I'll tell you, this past couple of weeks, the issue of the Sacklers and their money has really reached a head between museums saying they'll be no longer taking any money.
They got to
from the
remove all
Sacklers.
those bronze flags. They got to rename that big building up at Harvard. But Harvard did need the money. I mean, Harvard has just been, it's on, everybody up there and the staff is on food stamps. I saw the president in the middle of Harvard Square with a tin cup. I mean, it's a sad situation.
Harvard has plenty of
It's
money.
like Appalachia up there in Cambridge.
Appalachia of Cambridge. But this past week, I believe it was yesterday, the New York Attorney General named the individual Sacklers in their state's lawsuit. And in addition as well, we uncovered the role that Rhodes plays here in Rhode Island, which was identified in that lawsuit as being sort of the laundering agent, if you will, to move money from Purdue to Rhodes to the Sackler family
Offshore
trust.
too, offshore trust. I think the Purdue farm will soon be based in Grand Cayman Island.
Again, we'll see where this money does eventually go, but GoLocal, again, having written probably more than a dozen articles on the issue, hearing from activists around the country, coming here.
I've written about it, as you know, for a couple of years, I think.
Last weekend, Bob, you called for its return. So
But good for her. I think she's doing the right thing, and she should be commended.
So let's move to another issue that kind of came under some scrutiny both last month and this as well. This is the developer down at the bottom of College Hill, the edge at College Hill.
Why won't he pay his spenders?
Vision Properties, a Pennsylvania-based company, Rick Shafer. Back in February, we talked with a couple of subcontractors who had not gotten paid for work that was completed in the fall.
Sounds like it working for the Trump organization. Maybe it's actually part of the Trump organization.
So people had...
famous for stiffing contractors.
There was some comments, I will have to say, on social media making the same allegations, but then subsequent ones saying, but these deals were approved by Democratic leaders here in the state from the governor's administration.
These are like tax credits and stuff, right?
So they get tax credits when there is a verified project completion. So Commerce said, again, not $1 has gone to him at this point.
Number of employee connections to this too?
So they have to, again, the project costs have to be verified for them to get it. Now, there's a second project in the pipeline that is approved and good to go. But multiple subcontractors saying, listen, not getting this money is hurting our business. Should the state be taking into consideration how this is impacting?
Well, yeah, I think they should find out what's going on financially with the company. Are they in trouble?
Well,
there's the big issue. Are they overextended? Maybe not in Rhode Island, but elsewhere. Is the corporate parent overextended?
There are projects going on currently in other places as well. The subcontractor said, look, this building is up, it's operational, he's collecting rent on it, so where is that money going?
They're already getting revenue, presumably to pay their dets.
Should the state consider this, though, for the next project?
Well, yeah, I think they have to look at this carefully. I have to go into their profit and loss statement to know more of the employees, the revenue, what's their overall status in the parent company, in the Pennsylvania company. But I think certainly the state has an obligation, given the delay in paying vendors, local vendors, mostly probably Rhode Island, Massachusetts. It's hurting them,
cash flow.
and it could drive some of these vendors into bankruptcy. So I think the state has an obligation to look at the current financial condition of this company and take action. And the action may be to bar further deals with them.
We'll see moving forward.
Especially as we may or may not be going into a recession. Probably next year again, but we'll see.
Speaking of which, plenty of conversations going around the fact currently the administration is looking to legalize marijuana here in the state.
Yeah.
Sports betting approved last
Sin
year.
stuff, sin revenue.
Now mobile sports betting approved and signed
Yeah,
into law
yeah.
this week. We had the opportunity to catch up with the head of the National Problem Gaming Association in Washington, and he really raised the issue of the number of Rhode Islanders. I mean, think about it. You're on your phone.
Oh, I've read
You
some
can
of
bet on,
these
you
people.
can bet on anything.
By the way, often people who are addicted to alcohol and smoking are also addicted to gambling. The fact that they encourage drinking and smoking in gambling casinos is probably one reason for that. But the figures I've heard, the figures are all over the place, but I've heard about 10% of gamblers are so-called problem gamblers. So there's an addictive quality. They get a rush in the brain. They get endorphins and so on. And that's a lot of people. Because a lot of people
Do you
gamble.
think we'll see the effects
I
here?
don't think the state should be involved in gambling, but it's too late. Since New Hampshire set up its lottery back in the 60s, it's been spiraling down.
Do you think we'll see the visceral effects of it here, though? Or
Yes.
will it, trying to
Yeah,
address folks who
we'll
have
see more embezzlements, that sort of stuff.
people who, financially need to back up those.
Right. Maybe
those
to
bets.
pay off their bills, they'll get into drug dealing. Of course, we're going to legalize all the drugs, so maybe that won't be a problem. Fentanyl sales on the streets, and I think that's going to be I think it's going to be a problem. I think it's bad policy for the states to get involved in the marijuana business. Also, there's some recent scientific studies out associating development of schizophrenia and pot use.
So
in some people,
the big
not in
question
everybody.
is, do you think that that revenue anticipated from marijuana or from sports betting, as the state looks like there might be again a recession looming?
Yeah.
There's not much. You can't go back to the well. There's no more water to extract from stones. This is it. Like you've gone full scale legalization. You've gone full scale sports
My
betting.
view,
There's
more
no other
money,
revenue
maybe
drivers.
more money, because it's sort of an addictive society. I think we may get more money than anticipated from the pot business, but less from the gambling, because
Okay.
you can gamble in so many places now.
That is true.
It's so easy. You can do it on your phone,
Well,
anywhere. I suppose I can I can gamble from here in North Dakota. You know, it's
There
all
are-
one big happy World Wide Web.
There are rules here in Rhode Island. If you do the mobile sports gaming, it has to be within the. They
Well, we'll see.
geo-target you.
We'll see how that works.
I don't know if you can be in Worcester and
I
places.
think the
We'll-
lines
we'll
are going to
find
be kind of diffused.
blurred,
fuzzy,
blurred lines.
blurred.
Great video.
Right, there'll be sort of a demilitarized zone. Right.
The TMZ. So what do you have on your sheet here?
Well,
of what
I'd
you're
say
talking about?
obviously I talk about Trump. There's plenty of
Fodder,
sign of collusion, but I put that at the end. I also talk about the Barr family, that his son-in-law and his daughter both work with Trump. And the daughter, most interestingly, is going to be working in the financial crimes unit of the Treasury Department. So she'll be able to give Mr. Trump a heads up if some explorations of his seamy finances
So
proceed.
too many cozy
Cozy stuff.
relationships.
And then the son-in-law, William Barr, the Attorney General's son-in-law, will be working directly in the White House counsel's office.
It's a cozy world we
Sure,
live in.
it's a delightful world. Also, beach fees, we talk about that. I think it's a mistake. I think they ought to raise them a little bit to improve the beaches, but they won't be able to get nearly enough from campground fee increases. So I think that's a mistake, politically popular,
Well, should
but a
they
mistake.
have said at the outset, and I know it's not codified in law here in Rhode
Yeah,
Island, but
yeah.
said, we're going to ensure this is a dedicated revenue stream. Because I think
Yeah,
the public
right.
pushback was, you're going to get the money,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
not
and
going
then
to go
you
to
use it for
it's not
something
gonna go to
else.
the
You use
beaches.
it for fine dining in Providence.
There's a need for resources for the beach.
Well,
I mean,
way
was it-
down, and people who work there to
Yeah.
clean it up, to maintain it, let alone improve it. So I think that's a mistake, it'd be a popular mistake. And then I talk about somebody, there's actually a lot of little items there, a couple of little quickie book reviews. But, some writer, I think in the Washington Post, the New York Times, made the good point that one of the problems in the college admission scandal, that applying to college has become so complicated. Complexity favors the rich in taxes or anything else. In my town, like when we had to take the SATs, the guy in charge of that, the teacher in charge of that, 2 weeks from Saturday, you'll take the SATs, get plenty of sleep, and bring 3 number two
That was the prep.
pencils.
That was the
That was
prep.
it.
That
Now
was the
it's
prep.
incredibly complicated, expensive.
And it favors the
and so
rich.
on. And it favors the rich. The other thing is sort of getting on my moral and probably hypocritical high. I wish we paid more attention to the kids' honesty, dignity, and character than at what college they went to or
Here,
going
here.
to.
Here,
you know?
here. Well, you have to read all about it this Sunday on GoLocalProv.com from GoLocal columnist Bob Whitcomb. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Kate.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be
Happy
right back
weekend.
here on GoLocal Live. It's Rhode Island Kaha Week. We'll be right back.